All right, my fellow TikTok plumbers out there, I'm sure the rest of you aren't going to be interested in this, but hey guys, I just wanted to talk to you guys about wet venting today. It seems to be a term that gets used a lot, between different plumbing codes and whatnot, how to wet vent and what, and I realize there's plenty different ways to do it. For some of you maybe younger men and women out there, I see a lot of you commenting to other people who post stuff that's not the code, that's not how you do it. Guys, man, you got to realize there are different codes, different variations of codes all over, man. So if you see a licensed plumber doing something, especially on new construction or something, I always assume that how you are doing it is legal to your code. Now, yes, there are handymen out there, homeowners, do-it-yourselfers just doing stuff that's blatantly not to code. We can all tell who those are, so yeah, go after them. But there's a lot of you plumbers out there, man. I'm getting to watch some of you guys. I realize there are different codes all over the country. Even UPC, which is kind of the general code, there's variations of that in different cities and, communities. I live in Omaha, Nebraska, where my business is. We have our own plumbing code book. It has nothing to do with UPC, IPC. It is written by our licensed master plumbers here, by our plumbing board. It is our own code. One of the differences, for instance, we can't use quick events like you guys do. We can't use PEX piping. Our code changes now. In fact, we got a new code coming out here where they've made some alterations. But anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest, man. I see so many of you saying that's not how you do it. Maybe it's not where you live and work, but to where that person is, it is. So there's a plumber named Lookie something on TikTok. Good dude, man. Young guy, does some good quality videos. Looks like he does quality work. But yeah, wherever he's from in plumbing, man, is so different from, the way I see it. Also, guys, I will make comments sometimes on your guys' posts saying, yeah, here's how we do it. I'm not degrading how you do it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just think it's cool, man, to say, hey, here's how we would do that. Just sharing. Why else you making these TikToks, man, if it ain't to, talk to each other, man, and see how we do shit. It's pretty cool. All right, here's how we wet vent, guys. This is a typical toilet, right? Toilet flange comes down, 3-inch pipe. That everybody pretty much does that the same. In our code, we have to pull a vent off of that toilet within 2 foot. So what that means is the center right here where this Y connects, 2 foot developed link to the top of that flange. Actually, what our code says is your vent has to be as close as possible to the toilet, but in no case more than 2 feet away. Every toilet has to be vented. This is kind of the most common way. We can use a side inlet, a 3x2. If we want, we can actually vent off of that. I know a lot of you can't do that. That's not code. It is code here. It will pass. We've been doing it for 50 years here. It works. Okay, so let's say we're going to vent the toilet, right? We run our vent pipe over, we come up the wall, and we go up and out the roof. Again, we can't use quickie vents here. That's just a normal dry vent, basic way you do a toilet. A wet vent is when we introduce water into a portion of the vent pipe for the toilet. So right here, we add a bathroom sink. Okay? This isn't the wet vent. This isn't the wet vent. The wet vent is this portion of the pipe where it comes down. Water drains through it. So it's the drain for the sink, but it's also serving as a vent for this toilet. The reason that we allow it on toilets only is because when you flush a toilet, water actually only drains out of there for a couple of seconds. It doesn't run continuously. It only needs a vent for literally, guys, 4 or 5 seconds or however long it takes your toilet to flush. That's all a toilet requires. It's not like a bathtub, a shower, a washing machine. So that's the only reason, or that's the reason we can only wet vent a toilet, is because it only drains for a few seconds. So that's kind of how we wet vent here. Again, this has to be vented, has to go up, tie into other vents or up and out the roof or whatever. I'm just kind of making a little demonstration for you because I'm a dork and I got nothing better to do right now. So anyway, I was just curious if this, is kind of how similar to how some of you do it. I see the term wet vent getting thrown all around. And, I think that Lookie mentioned that, his washer or something was wet venting, even though it didn't have a vent on it. So, I get it, man. It's just different terminology, how we do stuff. So, it's just kind of fun to learn, man, how different ways to do it. At the end of the day, if it drains good and it doesn't back up, man, I'm all about that system. So, by the way, our wet vents only got to be 1.5 inches. We can actually wet vent 4 fixture units on top of that toilet. Our bathroom sinks are 1. I could actually wet vent 4 bathroom sinks, 2 bathtubs. You know, our bathtubs are 2. The only thing we cannot wet vent into the toilet is a washer machine. That has to be separate, independent, a whole separate code. It actually has to be 5 foot away from the toilet where it ties in the drain. Anyway, so, all right, there you go, man. Just curious how you guys do things out there in the rest of the country. Everybody have a great week. Out.